Okay, I'm a little late with this one, but yeah, a new expansion or mini expansion was released on Steam, and it's the first set of promo cards. So I'm just gonna do a quick review on it, go over every card, and yeah, finally my thoughts on whether you should buy it or not. So let's start. There's three corporations and four projects. Let's go through the three corporations, and yeah, let's start with Acadian Communities. It's easily the best one. Uh, just lets you dominate ground game very well. It starts with 40 cash and 10 steel, which is pretty high. I mean, the 40 is average, but the 10 steel, if you have some steel techs, that's great. And then, first action is you place a cube, and then every turn you get to place a cube either adjacent to one of your cubes or one of your tiles. Cubes are reserved for you, and whenever you place on top of them, you get 3 MC back. So pretty good, basically. Like I said, this lets you own the ground game. If you start with like a seeding hand, that's usually enough for me to go with this over the other corporation. Because you can play it for relatively cheap if you use your 10 steel. And then you'll just, you take your CD on one side of the board, your first cube on the other side, and you just dominate both sides of the board. The first generation you place two cubes because it's the first one and then the other one. The one with your action. From then on is a cube. From then on is a cube per generation, and then at the end of the game, when you start placing on your cubes, you get all this cash back. And that's the thing. Don't place on your cubes early. You wanna place adjacent to them and just keep building around them, and then last two gens you just try to pick all 10 up if you have to. And you can just dominate ground game. It's really hard to play against on the ground. Maybe Tharsis would be the most annoying thing because they can annoy you with cities, or Philaris maybe. But other than that, I think Acadian is great for one of the best ground game corps and just really annoying to deal with. Like if you're Ecoline, this is one of the ones you hate to see next to you. Moving on to Recycler. Recycling is fun. It's my favorite of this bunch. It's definitely not as strong as Acadian. You don't start with a lot of money, but you do get, whenever you play a building tag, you put a microbe, and you remove two microbes, you get a plant production. So every three building tags is a plant production. So if you have, again, a building tag heavy hand, and think about, if you're playing base and preludes, which is what a lot of people play on Steam, it's not weird to get Builder, there are fourth generation, and one more tag, the ninth tag, that would be you start with 1, 2, that would be your third plant production. So if you can generate passively 3 plant production in the first 4 generations, that's awesome. But other than that, it's unusable. If you, maybe with 6 tags, it's still usable, because you get 2 plant production. But then, other than that, it has no skills, and it has really mediocre starting cash and everything. So, think about it. Ecoline starts with 2 plant production already, right? So, Recyclone's best case scenario is Ecoline, and Ecoline places for 7, and starts with plants. It starts with less money. It also starts with a plant tag, so. Yeah, unless you can get to 9 quickly, I wouldn't do this. And then it's rare to get really to 15. I do see 12. 15 is really rare with building tags. They usually play them all at the beginning and they lose use near the end. So you could get 4, you're not getting 5. It's fun though. So I like playing with it, but it's not too strong. And you definitely need a hand for it. And finally, Splice, and Splice is really bad. So the cash is 44 is okay, and you draw a microbe card. But it's so bad because the ability is every time you play a microbe, you get so every time anyone plays a microbe, they get 2 cash for a microbe. When you play a microbe, and then you get 2 cash, right? So, honestly, the best thing I can say for this is that playing cards at micro cards with 4 discount is good. There's insects, for example, and decomposers. Psychrophiles you even get two back because I mean you paid three for the card, but you pay two and then get four, right? Because it's a rebate, not a discount. So it's nice getting four back. Getting the microbe is also useful sometimes. Um, but like the few good microbe cards like decomposers, viral enhancers, ants, I guess worms can be good if you've played a bunch of them. Um, Psychrophiles, like, yeah, those are nice. They're not gonna make or break the game, and getting a few cash on that is okay. The worst part of this is that it gives your opponent half the bonus too. So your opponent like can actually just play micro cards. For at least you get the two, but he gets the two. Like it's just and there are so few micro cards that are worth it, right? That's the other problem. Like imagine if you get all five. That's a total discount of 20, assuming you don't put the microbes on, and then you add that to your 44 and your card, and that's all you get for the game, 64. So the interactor starts with 60 and it gets a discount of 3. Credit card starts with 57. You'll get easily 20 back. So yeah, Splice is just really bad, and I really struggle when I play with it. So play it to try it, but you're probably not winning many games with this. Now let's talk about the cards. First of all, let's talk about penguins. Penguins are awesome. Penguins are the reason to buy this if you buy them. I love penguins. They're the best animal, by the way. I'm not talking about the card, I'm talking specifically about the animal. And yeah, the card is good too. It's nice to have an 1 point animal on the ocean track, and that's the one that can be more like volatile, especially if you have like Inventrix or anything that lets you play faster on the ocean track. But yeah, like if you can get this on six oceans can be quick. It can be really quick. If someone has like Arcticality or something, so penguins are like, fish and birds like they're gonna come 2 maybe 3 generations before the end of the game. You can see penguins mid game. So I love that card. Main reason to buy it. Then self-replicating robots. It's a gimmicky one. I don't really like it that much, but then I played with it and I got so much money out of it. Um, yeah, if you play it turn one, actually did like a card that costed 8, and then for 3 turns, so that's 8, because you do 2, 4, 8, and then I did a card that costed 8 again, and then for the final one I did Terraforming Ganymede for 32, so it was 10 gens, and I got 8 plus 8 plus 32. That's 48 cash out of this card, which is insane. You subtract the price, so it's 38 cash out of this card. Um, and that's insane. Now that was on turn one, and I happen to have like the building and the space tax to use every turn, which you need. Of course, this is better like the longer you wait with it. So something like immigration shuttles or asteroid mining, they are really good with these. Like you can get or even Demos or Giant Asteroid. Just you could play that for free at some point. Is amazing, and the important thing is that you don't like have to play it. Like you can have 2 cards under there and decide where to go. Like if you're not ready to put Demos down, because you're controlling the track, you can just put another card for a turn and start like putting resources on that, and you can whenever you play Demos down, you just play it for that discount, right? But yeah, really great. I mean, I think the most you get is 32, because like the 5th turn, like okay, you can go to 64, but no card goes to 64. Only IO Mining, and Earth Elevator are the more expensive ones. But yeah, if you get 32 out of this card, that's amazing. Few cards give you that. And it is very gimmicky. This is a card I hate him playing with on the actual game because it's all like on the tabletop version. But like honestly, it works fine on the Steam version and it's good to play. But let's get to the more disappointing part. There's Small Asteroid, which I really don't like. It's just, one temperature bump and destroy two plants, but for 10, so it's obviously better than the standard product. It's one cheaper when you include the cost of the card, and it's a space event, and you destroy two plants. But I never buy this. That means it doesn't make or break the game. You never like destroying two plants is never a big deal. One temperature bump is never a big deal. It's a nice draw, and if you have space discounts or event discounts, that's great. But other than that, it's a card that doesn't affect the game for the most part. And then Snow Algae, I think is really terrible. If you've watched my Heat or plant rankings, you see that this sits in the bottom, and it's because it's basically a combination of two terrible cards. Like if you combine Micro Mills and Lichen, you basically get this because that's 16 and this is 15. So it's like being forced to play two really bad cards. Now it does have the plant tag, but so does Lichen, right? So I mean, I guess that like it's a relatively cheap plant tag. But I mean, think about bushes or algae, which I know they have a requirement, but they cost less and they give you plants instead of plant production instead of heat production, and they also give you plants directly, so they can help you place it really. Yeah, these can come earlier, but do you really need one plant prod and one heat prod early like this? I mean, I guess there are times for your good plays, but this is really like the worst card in the expansion. Anyway, so what do I think about these? I think it costs $4 something. I mean Canadian on Steam, it's probably like $3 American. So really cheap. If you're rich, if you're comfortable, buy it. If you're not, I wouldn't. It's not that worth it, and you can always join a game for someone who has the expansion if you want to try it, and then play it occasionally. But I mean, these cards, it's a shame about Penguins because that one I feel like you should just move that to the main deck. But other than that, there is a gimmicky cards, mediocre cards, and the corporations. Some of like Acadian is quite different, and that's nice. Recyclone is fine, and then Splice is garbage. But none of these corporations are corporations that when I saw, I like, oh, I have to try this. Which I did feel in like with all the bigger expansions, except Prelude 2. Like there were corporations that I immediately wanted to play. Usually, 2 or 3. Like Venus, I like 4 of them. Prelude, I like all 5. Obviously, some are overpowered, but Colonies, I think I like 3. Yeah, Polyphemus, Aridor, and Arclight. So, yeah, there's usually like 3 or 4 corporations that I immediately want to try. But here is like I could play them. I don't hate them as much as Aphrodite or anything like that. They're very playable. Some are fun, but I'm not dying to play them. So if you're on a budget and saving up for colonies, I mean it's $3, but I don't think it's that worth it if you're on a budget. And like I said, like the thing about Steam is that if someone creates a game with the expansions, you can join them, even if you don't have the expansion. So just look for people putting them in the game. You can create it yourself, but then you'll experience them every once in a while. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Let me know what you think, and see you next time.